Good morning all and welcome to another video. It's been a very long time, I do apologise for that, but there's a few reasons. Number one, I've not had anything new to review for a very long time, and to be honest I still don't, because you know the space that it was taking up in my house was just insane. It was taking up so much more room than my clothes. So at that point I realised I had to slow down and stop buying things. But the second reason is the most important, and it's health. I have been in the past susceptible to blood clots in the lungs, and I had another bout of them last year, which means I'm now a lifer on anticoagulation medication. So wet shaving has been reduced to a minimum until I could find something that really does work for me. You would expect the occasional weeper with any kind of razor blade combination if you're not careful, but since being on the anticoagulation, my skin has been so much more sensitive and more susceptible to the weepers and nicks and cuts. So I've had to work really hard to try and find the perfect combination for my skin, and still not resemble a scene from Dexter, because that, to be honest, that does happen on the anticoagulation meds, which is not fun. So I've been working hard for quite some time to try and find the perfect blend of things, and I've come up with something that is resembling that at this point. You know, the key factors still are important. Number one, preparation. If you don't prepare your skin, you're going to be in for hiding anyway. Number two, you need a soap that is as slick as it can be, you know, and number three, you need a blade that is sharp and efficient. But obviously you don't want masses of aggression. So I mean, R41, for example, I've tried that a few times, and that has just been, yeah, I might as well have been on the scene of Sweeney Todd. So it's not great. So for today, I have given the usual hot towel treatment and a wash and a scrub. Now the soap we're using today is Spitfire from Phoenix and Beau. The razor we're using is this little diddy number. It is my 1972 Gillette Tech, and inside that is an Astra Superior Platinum blade. And the brush is going to be my Razorock Monster because it just works. And as a backup plan, should the worst happen, I've got my Allen block as well. So, like I say, I've already scrubbed and washed and whatnot. So we're going to get some soap on the brush. It's been so long since I've done a shaving video, I've almost forgotten how to do them. So this is just a general shave of the day with a bit of topic of conversation of the anticoagulation. So last year I was admitted into hospital with severe chest pain. It was like someone was putting a 10-ton weight on my chest whenever I laid down. And long story short, in hospital in the middle of a damn pandemic, and I was expecting the worst, you know, the chest pains and whatnot. I thought COVID. But, you know, I've been sticking to the game plan of staying out of the way unless absolutely necessary. And, yeah, they turned around, did the bloods and said, yeah, your bloods are off the chart. You know, there was one particular measurement they turned around and said that was very high. And they turned around and I said, let me guess, it's my D-dimer. And they were like, how do you know? So I explained my previous history from 2005. And they were frantically checking the records, and there was nothing on the hospital records here in the West Midlands to show what had happened in 2005. Long story short, I was actually dead back in 2005 for a period of time. It was not fun, I must admit. That was post-op. I had multiple, what they call bilateral saddle embolisms, and they were not fun. So yeah, I spent 7 months back then on warfarin, and it was okay. You know, it was a bit of an end. There was an end date in mind back then, but now with it being a lifer, oh, I've just realised my ISO is all blown out. Bear with me. No, that's shutter speed. Uno momento. There we go. So I've got a new camera as well, so I'm learning that on the fly. Normally I have it on auto, but it doesn't bode well with the light behind me, so I have to set it manually. But yeah, so now with these blood clots, you know, they turned around and said, well, it's not COVID, because that's a key driver behind blood clots in people at the minute. There's no sign of that. It was all negative on all three tests. And yeah, they turned around and said, well, we can't explain this one, so we are going to put you on these anticoagulants for life. which it is what it is. You know, it's not great, it's not fun. It does restrict your life somewhat. You know, so you've got to be uber careful with everything you do so you don't bleed. And when you do bleed, you bleed for longer. Now the tablets I'm on now, they're different to warfarin. They don't have quite so drastic an effect in terms of bleeding like a stuck pig. But of course it is still quite a long bleeding time. So, let's just tidy up there, because I don't particularly like the smell of soap right up my nose. It's a lovely smelling soap, is Spitfire. But yeah, still don't want it up my snout. Let's just whiz the ISO up a little bit there. There we go. So, what have I found when shaving under anticoagulation? Well, obviously bleeding is the key. You know, you've got to be extra careful. And like I say, skin prep is important. Pressure, you don't want to go too hard. And that's why it's key to have an efficient blade so that you're not going over and over multiple times and inviting those cuts. And the one thing I have had to do, I have had to eliminate the 3-pass shave. Which is a shame, because I did enjoy it. I did enjoy that baby butt smooth finish on your skin. It just doesn't work for me now, and it's not worth the risk. So I've cut it down to, most days to be fair, a 1-pass shave. And that works better for me. Yes, I've not got the finish I want, but equally, I'm not letting blood everywhere, which is mucho important. So that's the key differences really for me nowadays. And I will admit, I've been using the electric razor a lot, a huge amount actually, just to keep it safe. And when I first came out of the hospital, it was, you know, high doses of medication and the heparin injections as well. So any cut was just like turning on a tap. It really wasn't pleasant. But now I'm down to what they call a maintenance dose of the tablets. No more heparin, thankfully. Because if you've ever had a heparin injection, you'll know it's like injecting lava under your skin. It's not pleasant. It's the sort of thing that I would actively avoid. And like I say, there's other changes to your life that have happened because of it. You know, you can't drink anywhere near as much alcohol as you perhaps would like or ordinarily would. I mean, I was never a big drinker anyway. I do have another channel on Jolly YouTube where I review beer, alcohol-free mostly nowadays, unsurprisingly, due to the medication. And yeah, so it is what it is. Like I say, most of the alcohol's had to go. DIY, I have to be uber careful with what I'm doing. You know, no more wielding a chainsaw with sort of without care and attention or anything like that. You know, I was doing some hammering. I forget what I was hammering now, and I ended up bashing the thumb web with the hammer, and that was not fun. That did bleed quite a lot. Mostly internal, and that's the danger at the moment with these tablets. You know, if I injure myself, fall off a bike or whatever, then the risk isn't so much external bleeding, it's all internal. And the same reason with alcohol. It basically would turn your liver into a giant sieve and blood would go everywhere internally. So, that's my quick 2-pass shave with anticoagulation in mind. It's much safer. Let's whiz that ISO up again. Back to 1600. That's the one thing I love about this new camera. The ISO, it's native up to 50 odd thousand. It goes up actually much higher than that. Or is it, no, the R6 is 102,000 on ISO, and it's just great, lack of noise. So we're recording in full HD, not the 4K, because the file sizes are insane at 60 frames a second. So that's what we've got. We've got a couple of little red spots there. You know, nothing major today, thankfully, but it is what it is. Shaving under anticoagulation can be a pain. So we are going to have a quick splash of cold water, just to rinse off that last bit of soap. Pat dry, because I find rubbing it really does intensify any bleeding. And we're just going to pop a little bit of moisturiser on. In fact, we're going to pull out today the Wickham's 1912 Christmas Spruce, just for fun, because I've got it to hand. I'm just going to have a little drop of that. Don't need a lot, and it does look slightly suspicious in the hand there. Anyway, don't need a lot of that. It does a wonderful job of keeping your skin nice and soft and supple. And there we go. Job done. Once the skin has calmed down a bit, I'm going to stick some aftershave on. Don't know which one yet, that will be decided later. Just got to let the skin calm down, because the alcohol again intensifies the bleeding. So, boys and girls, ladies and gents, animals of any species, wherever you're watching from in the universe, thank you for watching my first shave of the day in absolutely ages. It's been a pleasure to be back, and I'll be getting some more up there. Hopefully, I've got the itch and the urge to try something new, and hopefully we'll have some new reviews up soon. Take care, I'll see you soon. Bye.